Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from beautiful Tucson, Arizona. This is our Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, and bestie, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show. We're here in an Airbnb, shoved in with a bunch of live people. Live is not just live on Zoom, which we have got a big crew of 72 people on Zoom. But we got a huge gang here, which if you're on YouTube, you can see here because you can all wave everybody. Right now, that's your cue. Wave. We got a gang from the Baba Wellness Yoga Studio and Boutique here that's hanging out early in the morning with us. I got my kids upstairs because they have no clue what's going on. And why is there a gang of humans in our downstairs little part of our Airbnb? And we got a whole group that listens internationally, generally at 5 a.m., but I was traveling, so I'm a little wiped, so I pushed it back. 5 a.m. Eastern time. So thanks for everybody for being on this schedule for the next few days. It's going to be at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're new to this podcast, because a lot of people have jumped on since that Joe Rogan interview I did, it's just like our numbers. What's our numbers, Kaustubha?
It's been around 10,000 downloads per day.
It's unbelievable. It's a sweet baby Krishna miracle. It's just... Yeah, it's like, me and Kaustubha had a very sanguine conversation when we were in New York the other day. And it was sort of like, okay, we're doing this class. The only thing now, I feel like when you really know, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. All signs are pointing to, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Now I got to really work on myself. Because to the degree that I work on myself, Krishna can use me. It's the interesting thing about teaching yoga. Teaching yoga means you don't got to do any magic tricks. All you got to do is get your massive ego out of the way. And then Krishna uses your entire body. And he uses your entire mind. And he uses your entire senses. And magic starts to happen. Synchronicities start to fall into place like more than ever before. And it's the beginning of our spiritual life is like the beginning of a magical life that's already out there. But I've been living in this like fishbowl of good and bad karma. I have some good day and I think I'm a spiritual person. I have a bad day and I'm, why me? My whole world's falling apart. But actually, Krishna's got some divine plan. So if you're really new to the show, you don't even know who Krishna is. Krishna's just another way of saying, people use so many words, higher power, divinity, the universe. You can use whatever word you like. The Bhagavatam itself, the book we're studying, this ancient book on Bhakti, says, actually it just says Krishna, but I added sweet baby Krishna. What was that from, that? Saturday Night Live thing?
No, it wasn't Saturday Night Live. It was with that movie where the guy's a race car driver and he's talking about how he loves little baby Jesus.
What's it called? Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights. The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
He's saying grace and he keeps talking about Jesus. Sweet little baby Jesus. Little tiny Jesus. Never spoke a word yet. Little 8 pound, 6 ounce baby Jesus.
So yeah, sweet baby Krishna. It's adorable. He's adorable. It's such like how can you have a fear-based relationship with your higher power? Sometimes, people get into spirituality or they grew up with a religion where like everything was fear-based. Don't do that. Shouldn't do this. Never do that. God's going to punish you. It's sinful. And it's just like, our whole thing is like, you don't want to do it. It's just happening right now in politics too. Because what they're doing is they're shaming everybody from doing things. You see it happening in politics. Don't do that. We're going to call you out. We're going to tweet you. We're going to tweet you out and publicly humiliate you. Okay, I won't wear fur. Or okay, I won't wear. We don't want to get people to not wear fur because we're shaming them. We want to actually affect people to change their heart. It's not just fur, it's everything. We want to change people's heart. If I give up something just out of shame, you're not changing the person. You might get some little effect. Okay, it drops. There's a little less impact on whatever environment, earth, fossil fuels, whatever we're shaming might blip down a little, but we really got to, the Bhagavatam is here to change the entire consciousness of the people. So we are all choosing out of love. And that's the real thing that Bhagavatam teaches, or my big takeaway from the Bhagavatam is you change by example, by changing your heart, you change with love, not with shaming people to do these things. And so how can you have a fear-based relationship when your higher power looks like an adorable little boy, a little child? And then and you don't have to get all patriarchal too, because you have this divine little female. It's like Radha and Krishna. This is our God. Radha, a little boy and a little girl. How charming. There's no fear base. I'm not fearful of sweet baby Krishna. What do you think about that, Kaustubha?
I think that, well, I really like your point. I think you said it really well there. That if you shame someone, you actually don't change their heart. So you just have what is that? One convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Right?
One convinced, let's put that up on the board there. Where's our scribe? Lindsay? One convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
Yeah. So you might be able to shame someone in. You might put pressure on someone to have to adopt a certain profile. But in the end, it seems like what's happening in our society right now is there's two sides that are shaming each other and kind of like just dealing with each other in such animosity that they're just going further and further apart, when actually there's not so much different. There's not so much different. But we're just getting more and more polarized.
Try that one with your kids. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Shaming your kids until they change.
Yeah.
Yelling at your kids to eat better. Just eat better yourself. Duh.
Yeah.
Just eat better yourself and they'll eat better. Love and they'll love. Respect. That's how it's going to happen. I know. It's like everyone's fearing, I'm going to say the wrong thing. Going to be just like, what people have to get? People just start minding your own business. It's old saying, but it really works. It's really relevant today. Mind your own business. Your business is your business. Their business is not your business. Mind your own business. No, but I've got a cause. I got to change the world. Change your own head. Change your own head, people. Change your brain. Change your mind. Change your habits. You want to control something? Control your tongue. Control your belly. Control your genitals. Change that. Don't change me. Try it with your spouse. Try to change them. See what a loving relationship you'll have. You nag them right out your front door. Come on.
You sound like you're trying to force me to do it.
What?
Do I have to do that?
You have to do that. That's what I said.
No, but it's a great point. And I do see that, the result is that people just won't accept it. They're not open to actually hearing anything. We're not willing to hear, I think I mentioned this on the show a long time ago, but there was someone, I forget his name. He was some writer. I wish I could pull it up better for you, but he had these like 4 laws for debate or 4 laws for argument, and I don't even remember them all, but this one I really remember. And I think it's so important is that when you have a disagreement with someone and that you should be able to, before you even present your own opinion or your own position, you should be able to articulate their position so well that they say, thank you for saying it that way. Yeah, that's even better than I've said it before. Yes.
Seek first to understand.
There you
then
go.
Be understood.
Right. But it's that kind of thoughtfulness that seems to be so missing right now.
I'm gonna write that on the board.
Yeah.
I had a moment there. Seek first to understand and then be understood. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there are a lot of couples there listening here on Zoom today. I see couples lovingly sitting next to each other, arm in arm with a cup of warm tea. Nobody say anything. You don't say one correction to that partner of yours today. Not one correction. Not where their socks should go. Not why didn't you empty the dishwasher? Nothing. If you want to correct something, you take it and you turn it on yourself. You turn that thing right on yourself immediately. I don't want to hear you say one thing to your partner today. Not one correction. Not one little thing that could be interpreted as nagging. Nothing. Do you understand, couples? I just want to see all the couples nod right now. Yes.
Okay, there they go. You know, I remember last winter I was walking down the street. I was like on Clinton Street or something on Lower East Side. And there was like a kind of anti-fur coalition people.
Yeah.
You know, who I sympathize with. I don't wear fur. I don't wear leather. I don't wear any of that.
Mm.
And I was walking up the street and they kind of created a little gauntlet. And if someone had any fur, they were just like laying into them, like screaming at them, you know?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And I could see, it was just so easy to witness from my own point of view that didn't help. You know?
No, it either makes the person collapse and humiliate themselves. They feel humiliated. And then their answer would be, yeah, you should be humiliated.
Right.
But it's not changing their heart. Like, for example, I mean, I noticed this when we started our straight edge band, when we were teenagers, we started a straight edge band. It took a lot for me and Paramananda to, at that time, nobody was straight edge. If you're not familiar with straight edge, we didn't drink and smoke. And they were in the midst of a punk scene. So to get up on stage and say, we don't drink, we don't smoke, we're vegetarians, that was a very, very challenging statement. And we risked a lot of flack for it. But it was very easy after it was established to say, yeah, I'm straight edge. But the reason why we did it in the first place, we didn't do it to get accepted and loved. We did it because, we feel this is a good thing, which is an important thing. And we're not going to get accepted, but this is what we are. And we think it's a good thing. I feel like oftentimes people got into it also, not out of, I'm going to do this because this is what my heart's calling me to do, but it was sort of like easier to fit in. And if a person, I forgot where I'm going with this whole statement. I was on a really good roll, Kaustubha.
My guess is that you're going to the point where it's like even that good thing that you're trying to share for a lot of people became a weapon of their anger or their frustration or their superiority or things like that. Is that where you're going?
That wasn't the point, but yes, that too.
Right.
I'm having a rough day. I'm exhausted. But anyway, my point is, back to the original point, shaming doesn't do what you want it to do. People will collapse and they'll do it. But that's not a healthy relationship. I look in terms of my children. I don't want to crush they'll rebel. They'll turn 18 and they'll just be like, screw you. Or they'll 14 and say,
Raghu, hey, easy there.
Sorry.
Got kids.
Gotta keep this PG. I'm taking it up to PG-13. Watch out. Taking it. Okay. Anyway, we want to convince, and that's the beautiful thing I love about the tradition of Bhakti is all the great masters have changed. They've done it. They've probably single-handedly have so much lowered slaughtering of minks and foxes and otters for fur. Why? Out of love. They did it out of love, and love affected people. People are like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to wear that. I want to contribute to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Was that enough?
Yeah.
That okay sounded like that was a very nice way to say, please shut up now.
Enough of your rant.
Enough of the rant.
No, it was good.
Alrighty. I'm going to open Wikipedia in case I need it today. Without Mara here, I'm a mess. I tried to have Radha be my Mara today. She failed miserably. She failed. Just kidding. We love Radha. Yeah. Hey, if you're ever in the Tucson area, Bava Wellness, love this place. Radha and Damodar are here. And okay, so we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 18. And now we're going to go through this wonderful book. Om Namo, oh no, I'm going to start with this prayer to the Bhagavatam. It goes like this. Narayanam namaskritya naram shaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mutiraye. All of Live here knows this prayer. This is great. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of our conquest, one should first offer obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart can become completely eradicated. In loving service to the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs will be established in the heart as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamurandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Midatam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Good morning. Okay.
There you go.
Canto 1, Chapter 7, Text 18. But Mara has some questions she sent me. My phone is old. I'm sick of my phone. I'm ready to bury my phone. And there's too many ways to get messages now. WhatsApp, Telegram, emails. I remember when they first started on Instagram, we could message you on Instagram. Come on. Before you just had to go home and check your messages on your phone. Life is getting harder. There's too much information. Anybody feel like that? There's actually too much information coming in. I don't know. I need like a manager just to manage my phone. Like I shouldn't be allowed to carry this thing. Does anybody else feel like that? Is that just me?
Yeah.
There's too many ways to get messages. Let's just agree on one. I don't even check everyone, people are like, yeah, I left a message and your voicemail is full. I was like, who checks their phone messages anymore? You people check them? I thought and it's all done silently. It's not like there's a massive download that comes to everybody. Okay, we're all switching to WhatsApp. Okay, we're all switching to Skype. Okay, no one knows. It's like, you're supposed to just know. Oh, you don't check your WhatsApp? I didn't even know we were supposed to have WhatsApp.
It's okay.
Who tells us these things?
Raghu, it's okay. Take a deep breath.
It's overwhelming, man. Doesn't anybody overwhelm?
Take a deep breath. It's all right. Everything's okay.
I'm serious, though.
It is a bit much. But let us not let that prevent us from getting to the Bhagavatam.
But did you ever get like a message from somebody and then you don't answer right away because you don't have that much time? And you're like, where the hell did that message come from? Which message giver did that flow from? I got to go through 11 communication rivulets every day. Where did that come from? I know there's something important about to happen.
There is something important about to happen. We're about to read the Bhagavatam.
Oh, gentle lady. This is where we are. Oh, gentle lady, where are we? Oh, gentle lady, when I present you, this is that gruesome verse.
Yeah.
By the way, the Bhagavatam sometimes gets gruesome. All right, so we're on the next verse, 17. Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as a friend and driver, thus satisfied the dear lady by such statements. He basically told his wife, don't sweat it, I'm getting revenge. Someone had just killed Draupadi's 5 children while they were sleeping. I should say that quieter because I have 2 kids that are probably awake in their bed. Okay. But yeah, And so then he dressed in armor and armed himself with furious weapons. His weapons were furious. Getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Ashvatthama, the son of his martial teacher. So here, Arjuna is going to hunt down the son of his teacher, Ashvatthama. If you're unfamiliar with what's going on, the battle's practically over. The bad guys, I like that term, the bad guys. It's all about good guys and bad guys, isn't it? It's from when your childhood. It's still the archetypes of good, the archetypes of evil. The war was fought. Bad guys are pretty much completely demolished. But there's a few bad guys left, and they realize they're not going to beat these good guys. So now they're just resorting to very dirty, dirty tricks. Even the head of the bad guys, Duryodhana, is a pranayam master. He's a warrior bird, a pranayam master, and he's living underwater in a pond. What? You can't make that up. He's living underwater in a pond. And so he said, I'm gonna bring back the heads of the Pandavas, and I'm gonna kill, because I can't beat them. I'm gonna kill them while they're sleeping. And instead, by mistake, he kills their children. And the pranayam master, Duryodhana, he says, what have you done? You killed a bunch of children. This is disgusting. Our whole life is disgusting. And he's going to come out of the water, and he's going to have to do the final fight versus against Arjuna's brother, Bhima.
I think he's already beaten down now. I think he's like almost dead, Duryodhana.
Oh, really? I'm past that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we got a little Arjuna's going to go out for revenge now. Ashvatthama, the murderer of these young princes, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panic-stricken, just to save his life, as Brahma fled from Lord Shiva. Want to tell that story?
I don't think so.
Okay. Keep me on track, Prabhu. I'm all over the place today. I don't know if you picked up on that. When the son of when Ashvatthama saw his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra. In parentheses, somehow the Prabhupada calls it the nuclear weapon. That's the translation. He puts a nuclear weapon. Do you know any reason why Prabhupada calls the Brahmastra
well,
the nuclear weapon?
In one commentary, and it's in this section, I'm not sure which verse, but he'll say that it's similar to an atomic weapon, that somehow through sound, that these martial artists could, kind of set off heat in some huge way. And so he describes it that it's similar to like a nuclear weapon.
Although the Brahmastra can't, so these are weapons. Astra means like a weapon.
Yeah.
And Brahmastra means it's the weapon of Brahma. So these great warriors, spiritual warriors. Isn't there a yoga pose called spiritual warrior? Gentle warrior, peaceful warrior. They just make these stuff. People are just making stuff up in the yoga scene. Peaceful warrior. I was like, peaceful warrior. Like when they're picking up teams, who wants the peaceful warrior? Not me. Give me the crazy one. Give me the crazy giant with all the weapons.
Just a crazy warrior.
Peaceful warrior. Come on, peaceful warrior. You got to go out and fight. You got a war going on. So anyway, Arjuna, these guys are actually very evolved beings, but their dharma is to protect, and therefore they're so high they have connection with higher beings, and the higher beings are giving them weapons because they're also trained in dharma. So even the warriors have to act dharmically. And so that what we have now is we have a people who don't follow dharma, but we create weapons. And what do we do with the weapons? We just kill everybody. There's some bad people we want to fight. So what do? We kill a bunch of children, and innocent civilians are going down. And then and warriors come back from a war in the Middle East. And they got to like somehow calibrate with their own heart. I had to kill children. I had to kill innocent civilians. I wasn't even sure who was good and who was bad. So this was a time when the battlefield was actually a battlefield. All the warriors came together. That was how they fought. I mean, that's not an old thing. That was happening like in the Revolutionary War, wasn't it? Ever read those history books on the redcoats? And nowadays we hear like, yeah, the British are coming and they're all wearing red coats. One guy's carrying a flag. The other guy's a drum. I'd always be in social studies. I was always like, that poor sucker who has to carry the drum. What about that poor guy who's got to carry the fife? That guy's going down for sure. All right, we got 10 weapons, a fife, and a drum. Who wants the fife? Everybody must be like, I don't want the fife. Please don't pick me to have the fife. The peaceful warriors. You know, and so how did we win that war? We hid behind trees. We whipped rocks at them. We had a pitchfork. That's how we won the Revolutionary War. These guys were all in a row in a beautiful formation. There was a type of nobility and we were just sort of like crazy ass terrorists. Fife, right? So there was a nobility, and at night you didn't fight. When you read the stories of how they fought, at night you didn't fight. Why? Because it's nighttime. You got to sleep. Nowadays, you know, we do these things with Agent Orange and these horrors of war where you're spraying things and everybody's dying. It's horrific. So anyway, Arjuna, these guys, they're warriors, but there was some nobility to there was some nobility and there was some dharma to their warfare. That's why even in the yoga system, you hear these, like the first two things you learn, yama and niyama. Before you learn anything else, you learn yama and niyama, appropriate behavior. So now Ashvatthama is freaking out because he understands. This is that purport where Prabhupada talks about he's from a Brahmana family, but he's not a qualified Brahmana. Okay. Since his life was in danger, he touched water. There's that word again, touching water. In sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of the hymns for throwing nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. So he learned this. So these weapons are all spoken. They're weapons of sound. Isn't that interesting? We have weapons of warfare that you hold in your hands. You have weapons that you propel. I'm quoting the Donner Veda. This is like the Vedic military handbook. There's hand-to-hand combat, and the fourth kind of weapon is weapons of sound. And that was only given to what's called the Maharatis, or those who are very, very powerful, very, very dharmic, and had connection with higher beings. And they were given weapons of sound because they could handle them. But Ashvatthama was the son of one of these Maharatis. And therefore the father gave them to him, but he didn't fully understand them. So he knew how to throw the weapon, but he didn't know how to withdraw it. And so there was about to be, this is what happens when, you know, rogue people get dangerous weapons. Shall we continue, Kaustubha?
Please.
Please, I'm begging you.
No, it is interesting that, you know, as you're mentioning, the idea here was that these are powerful weapons and they were only entrusted with people that had the right character and the right training, right? You don't just give this to anyone. There was what do they call it now? Like a vetting system, you know, you'd be trained by the guru and he would only entrust certain people with it. But and even though Ashvatthama was like, up till this point, he was a trustworthy person. But when his father was killed, he just lost it. You know, and even to kill his father was so difficult that it wasn't quite by the rules, you know?
Yeah, it's sort of like the war is hell type of thing.
It's where, yeah, it's just like, even though these warriors, they were so fixed on following that code, Duryodhana was just almost impossible to take down without it being a little.
Drona.
I'm sorry, Drona. Yeah, Drona was just so hard to kill, and Arjuna had to kill him. And
No. Drishtajumna killed him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Drishtajumna. Right, of course, Drishtajumna killed him. So, Ashwatthama just became so infuriated, and he just lost it. So now he's got this powerful weapon, and now he's in fear of his own life, and now he's going to set off this horrible weapon that he doesn't know how to withdraw. So it can cause like massive damage.
Massive damage.
And Arjuna is being entrusted now to somehow deal with this. But even Arjuna, he's going to, well, let's read, but we'll see how Arjuna responds.
What is up with this? Is there a shadow on my face? It looks like I have a giant Fu Manchu
It's a
mustache.
shadow of your own glasses because the light is coming
shadow of
from the
my
top.
glasses.
Yeah.
Fu Manchu. I like this concept though, a weapon of sound. Because even in this world, or we hear of a curse, or we hear of a black magic, or we hear of a spell, right? Or sometimes even just like saying ill thing, condemning a person. That like there's a power of sound, but these are sort of even refined sounds. They actually would have some like physical ramification from these words. Anyway,
You can read the commentary here.
What number are we on?
It's
19?
20.
20. It's a short commentary. The subtle forms of material activities are finer than grosser methods of material manipulation. Such subtle forms of material activities are effected through purification of sound. The same method is adopted here by chanting hymns to act as nuclear weapons. Thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. So here's Arjuna chasing Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama is going to turn around and throw this mantra, and all of a sudden blinding light is everywhere. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life was in danger, and so he began to address Lord Sri Krishna. Arjuna said, "Oh my Lord Sri Krishna, you are almighty personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees." Beautiful statement. Only you. You are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. There is so much fear, and all you have to do is open CNN, news app, NPR, Fox. Everything is like fear, 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 and then they'll throw one thing in, sort of like Brad Pitt is, just bought a dog, and like, oh, okay, thank God for that, because I was really riddled with anxiety. It's sort of like everything is fearful. Coronavirus, fearful. It's coming into America now, and there's no way to stop it. Everybody's dying. They're fracking. Your cell phone gives you cancer, and you're like sleeping with it on your heart. Everything is like fear. How do you get rid of that fear? Do I get rid of my cell phone? You said it better. What was that verse you quoted the other day? I was like, what do you think of the coronavirus? And you quoted the verse we were chanting. It was like so beautiful.
Well, it's the verse that we were on.
Kaustubha is like a sage. He just sits there in lotus position under a banyan tree. And I'm like running around pulling what little hair I have left out of my head out. Pulling the hair out of my ears.
The only reason I came up with that verse is because they're sitting right on my screen, because it's the verse that we're reading, that it was a material misery, which is superfluous to us, and which can be directly mitigated.
Do you remember that verse?
Yeah, it said that it's the material miseries. It was describing Vyasadev's meditation, in which he saw the Lord, and he saw the Lord's material energy, which is also the subject of this verse, and he saw the living entities who suffer under the influence of that energy.
Right.
And he said he saw that their sufferings were superfluous to them, but that they can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service and bhakti. So here, Arjuna, it's a little difficult to picture this, because this weapon, we can imagine it's very rapid, that this kind of like explosion is taking off. And Arjuna, I don't know if there's some sort of relative time in which he had the opportunity to offer these prayers. But he says, there's no limit to your different energies. Therefore, you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Because like in the Gita, Krishna will say, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyatesa characharam, that the entire material energy is working under his supervision. So whatever energy we come up against in life, we can understand ultimately that's Krishna's energy. So ultimately we turn to Krishna. It's like if we were in a virtual reality, there's the virtual reality again,
Here
right?
he goes. Here he goes with his virtual out. No, this is your good one. No.
If we were in a
Run with
virtual
it.
reality and there was a coder that was able to, watch us and code things into that virtual reality, then that's the person we would turn to if we needed to take shelter of someone. Hey, I'm in a difficult situation in the virtual reality. Can you help me?
Take shelter of the coder.
Take shelter of the coder.
That's your message today. That's your walk away. Take shelter of the coder. You're Codenoth. Lord of the coders.
So when he says there's no limit to your different energies, it's all your coding, so therefore therefore you're competent to install fearlessness. As long as I know that I'm working connected to you, I'm moving connected to you, then I can move fearlessly because I know that, ultimately the coder has got my back.
This is powerful. Just this concept that we take shelter of Krishna, we take shelter of the Bhagavatam, we take shelter of spiritual wisdom, and it takes away all the temporary fear. We're trying to solve our material problems with material solutions. And it's not going to work. We're not going to stop these things. There's so many movements for like this, what's it called? Longevity. I'm taking these longevity herbs, these reishi mushrooms. Now I'm never going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. The tea is not going to save your life. I'm not saying don't take reishi mushroom tea. Lion's mane. Take it. But don't think you're going to beat death. Even if you live to 600 years, I'm going to give you 500 extra years. Even if 540 extra years. Even if you live, you're still going to die at 600. You'll be walking around with that curved walking staff, a long beard, and you're going to die then. There's still going to be death here. So what we have to do is find what is the spiritual solution to those material problems. And that is, I want complete peace of mind in this crazy world, in this crazy, overwhelming world. As it gets more and more overwhelming, we're trying to, what's happening? We're trying to fix our material problems with material solutions, and now there's more overwhelm. There's more overwhelm. There's no downtime for my mind any longer. People don't have time to tinker anymore. I remember my father always tinkering with things. Gets home, he was a school teacher, got home, went to the garage, tinkered. Just tinkered with things. Built things, carved things. He would whittle. He'd whittle.
Twink.
No, I'm serious.
Tinker,
You know what I'm talking about?
whittle.
Anybody my age remember their dads? They had a garage and perfectly all the tools in the garage in perfect order. Tinker, take apart things, rebuild them. Just tinker around. You think I got time to tinker? There's no tinker time. I'm getting home. I'm like juggling. Everybody's a juggler now. Ask Damodar. Me and Damodar are hanging out in India, and then India should be completely chill. And so it's like Raghunath's got all these, pilgrims with him. It's a little overwhelming. So we break away. Let's go get a head shave. Get the head shave. If you ever get your head shaved, it's the most relaxing thing for a guy, probably a girl too, to get their head shaved in India. Nobody can match the head shaving you get in India. If you know what I'm talking about, say aye. Anyway, getting your head shaved by these masters who are like massaging and polishing and waxing, right? And they're lathering and slathering, and then these guys could shave a balloon perfectly without popping it. And so we break away, we get our head shaved, and Damodar's feeling like, well, now we got time to just chill out with Raghu and talk while we're both getting our head shaved. As soon as I sat in that chair, I'm snoring, asleep, drooling. Like, that's how fast I go out. Why? Because there's no tinker time. There's always overwhelm time. It's always on. I need more tinker time. You ever meet Kaustubha? He's in tinker time. This man's in tinker time.
What do I tinker with?
You know what? You tinker with your thoughts.
Oh.
You tinker with your thoughts. You're a Muni, a Rishi, a sage.
No,
You go over to Kaustubha's house. He's just got a rocking chair. That's his spot. He sits. He's probably in it now. He sits there and he just rocks. And he's tinkering with his brain. He's thinking, mode of goodness, mode of ignorance. Yeah. Sattva guna. I think I might have overate one strand of spaghetti today.
Oh, Raghu. It's
So I
not
like
like that.
That's why I like you.
It's not like that.
You are my tether to Sattva guna. I'm holding on to your lotus feet like this. Oh,
You are my
Pull me
tether
up.
to the love for Bunky Bihariji.
oh, thank you. Let's continue on. We're almost. Oh, we got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes here. Arjuna said, where am I?
23.
23. You are the, so now Arjuna is inspired and he's fearful. And what do we do in fear? We reach out to Lord Krishna. You are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy. I hiccup once a show. Once a show, that was it. You have cast away the effects of material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Purport. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita that one who surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord can get release from the clutches of nescience. Nescience is like darkness or ignorance. Just like the sun. Huh?
I was going to say, what verse is he alluding to here?
Oh, you hot seated me?
Yeah, I guess so.
I
think 7:14. I think 7:14, right? Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratiya.
Yeah.
Bhajante. Mayam to take tongue.
Many verses actually may fit into that one, but that one for sure.
But particularly the one who surrenders unto him can get released from the clutches of Maya.
Yeah.
Right. That this material energy is very difficult to overcome. But for one who has surrendered unto me, they can very easily cross beyond it.
You know, it's one of those things that a practical way of doing that is first thing in the morning, first words out of your mouth, my dear Lord, my sweet baby Krishna, my higher power, whatever you want to call God, what would you like for me today? I'm a spiritual being. I'm here to serve. What would you like for me today?
What a nice
From
practice.
this moment on, I'm yours. And I tell you, those sincere, recognition of your spiritual identity and to just throw yourself out there. Today is yours. What would you like? And then you get into this headspace, like whatever happening today, that's what's meant to happen. And I'm just going to go on with it. And the constant referring to yourself as a spiritual being gets you out of all these temporary designations, and it starts to melt away fear. And it starts to correct ill thinking. The ill thinking is, I'm part of this political party. I'm part of this race or this nation or this gender. That's stinking thinking. It's wrong thinking. It's bad thinking. Why? Because we're not those things. I'm not this Airbnb. That's what we said yesterday. I'm not this Airbnb. It's just a rental. You're here for a couple of days. Don't identify yourself with it, or it's silly. We're just changing forms all the time. What is my only form? Spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being, and I see everybody else as a spiritual being. And therefore, even if a spiritual being is not doing what I like them to do, I have compassion, love, and tolerance to them. And I try to, and I, being firmly rooted in what I am, I just approach them with love.
Those are great points, Raghu. I like that so much, that even as you were saying before, like people are just watching CNN all day. They're watching Fox News all day.
Don't do it. Don't let it run. Don't let it run in the background. The news, people do that now. Right?
And that fear. And someone mentioned here that cliche that if it bleeds, it leads, That's
what someone wrote that. What does that mean? If it bleeds,
it means that it's a media thing, that if it bleeds, then we put it at the top of the paper. We put it at the front of the broadcasts,
if it bleeds,
because
it leads.
You lead with it. If it bleeds, it leads, because it gets you your sales or your your ratings.
Horrible, huh?
Yeah. So, but my point is that what you were saying right there is the idea that I'm going to wake up in the morning and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix my mind right. I'm going to bring it to Krishna, and
Yeah.
I'm going to recognize what Arjuna is recognizing here. He's got a bomb headed his way, literally, right?
A literal bomb.
Yeah.
Bomb's headed his way, which we all do. Which we all do. The bomb of death is coming. It's pointed right at your skull.
And so his thought is so, the depth of his thought is so clear here because his mind's been trained the right way, but through what he hears. So rather than responding in complete fear, he's saying, Krishna, this is all your energy. I take shelter of you, to protect me as I move through it. And if we go back to the previous purport, there's just at the very last sentence, Srila Prabhupada says this. He says, the spiritual master, by their words, they can penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge, transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. Is that knowledge, and when we say transcendental knowledge, it means knowledge that I'm not this body. I'm the soul within this body. That I'm moving on a journey through this world, that ultimately I'm meant to see this world for what it is and reconnect with my divine source. That's transcendental. And by turning off the television, and bringing our mind regularly to hearing transcendental knowledge,
Regularly, that's the trick.
Yeah, we'll pass through this world fearlessly. Those things where everybody else is freaking out, we have you can have a steady mind. So Arjuna, look at him, he's in this extremely dangerous and difficult situation, but he's got a very cool head. And he's seeing things as they are, and he's reconnecting even in this difficult circumstance.
Audra writes, we need BNN, Bhakti News Network.
That's kind of what we're trying to do, I suppose. Huh?
This is BNN.
Yeah.
Live from Washington, D.C., this is Raghunath. Today, sweet baby Krishna stole a glove jamming. Naughty baby Krishna will be punished severely by his mother, where he will be tied up to a grinding mortar.
We're here at the grinding mortar, where Krishna's just been tied up by Mother Yashoda.
Somehow he miraculously pulled this massive grinding mortar, knocked down two massive Yamala Arjun trees.
Let's talk to the kids who witnessed what happened.
The small baby Krishna has taken this grinding mortar. It's unbelievable, man. Two men came out of the trees. Two men with beautiful golden armor came out of the trees and were praying and offered beautiful prayers. Let's talk to the parents here.
I don't think he could have done it. These kids must be crazy. There's no way little Krishna could have pulled
Little
down.
Krishna's just a little baby. Why would a baby grin?
Right?
That was Kaustubha doing Nanda Maharaj. It was pretty good. But it's true. These are the things, especially in the morning, people. You know what kills me? When people wake up and they get right into mundane things. Get into business. As soon as they wake up, it's almost like, ow, ooh, oh. The music, the literature,
She came
the
upstairs.
TV. What? Has someone got their mic on?
Yeah, we got a little
couple
interference here.
Let's get him. Let's get him.
Hunt him down.
Jeff, mute your mic. Okay. Got that? So yeah, it's all right, Jeff. Yeah. It's like first thing in the morning, you put some poison. It's just like waking up and say, okay, let's have cheese doodles for breakfast. What? That's what we do with sound, with our activities. First thing in the morning, dive right into prayer, reading sacred literature, chanting mantras, chanting stotrams, chanting japa, Hare Katha, reading the Bhagavatam. It sets the compass for your day, doesn't it? Make a commitment. Everybody on Zoom, at least. You others out there, you're new to this. A lot of the others are new. Others are growing. I guess 9,930 people are the others out there.
Yeah. That's it. So what you're saying, I like this so much too. You're saying that particularly we're going to move through the world and we're going to hear all kinds of mundane stuff. There's no question about that. And we're going to hear the news, and we're not saying that you should 100% abstain from the news or anything like that.
Abstain.
Or maybe you should. But what you're saying is that the morning hours should be particularly valued, right? Like they should be given a special status in our day. That the time that not only because it's early and I can set my mind right for the rest of the day, but also because that it's called the Brahma Muhurta hour, those very early hours. They're very sattvic. And so the transcendental knowledge can become deeply cultivated in those hours. We should say these hours are super valuable. I got to use them right. I can't, like when you misspend something, like when you just take money and what do they call that? Like, you just, I don't know, you just waste it. Let's just say it like that. I can't waste these hours because they're particularly important, right?
If I could take one thing away from my life that I've learned is that first thing in your mind, something transcendental. First food in your mouth, something incredibly healthy.
I have this book, and although it's called the lives of the Sri Vaishnava Brahmanas. I found it in Ras Bihari Lal, in Loy Bazaar in Vrindavan. And it was really old. It was like, you would have loved it. It was like this old, dusty, almost falling apart kind of book.
What's up with books in India that are dusty? They're dusty.
It seemed like it had been in there forever. And it describes the life of the Brahmanas and how they live. And it gives their day by day, minute by minute breakdown. They actually have the whole thing broken down,
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so the very first thing they do when they wake up, they wake up.
Let me guess. Offer obeisance to the earth.
Well, okay. Well, the first thing is like they pray to Lord Vishnu, like the second they wake up. But then, what you're saying is, then they say before they place their foot on the ground, and they won't place their left foot, they'll place their right foot on the ground out of respect to the earth. So the very first thing they do is they say a prayer to Mother Earth.
Wait a second. Is the left foot the dirty foot? You get the clean hand, the dirty hand.
It's just disrespectful.
Even that's a hard concept to grasp for a lot of us. The clean hand, the dirty hand.
Just like we'll shake with the right hand rather than the left hand, right?
I never thought about that.
Yeah, if someone comes up with the left hand, you're like, no. You come with the right hand.
Yeah.
So
I'm shake with the left because I'm chanting with the right. Shake or fist bump.
But they before they place their right foot on the ground, they say a prayer to Mother Earth. Mother Earth, who they understand is Bhumi, as the wife of Lord Vishnu, right? So before they step on the earth, they say, "Forgive me for stepping on you, but may all my steps be in the service of Lord Vishnu today," right? And then they step on the ground, right? And then they move on to the next thing in the day, and you just see what the way that they're training their consciousness through this, the way that that's a yoga practice, right? That's
a yoga practice.
Yeah, I'm going to become so conscious of how I move through this world that I'm going to carefully train myself to respect the earth. I'm going to carefully respect myself, train myself to respect every moment in the day, all my efforts, that they may be moving towards that highest goal of reconnecting. Life for the South Indian Brahmins.
All right, let's check Amazon for that.
I don't think you're going to find it. I got it on my shelf back here. I could pull it out someday.
All right, you can pull it out, highlight some yellow marker, some of that stuff.
Yeah. I think we're running out of time.
Uh-oh. I got 1 minute. Say something clever while I say
well, we just got a comment from Jamuna Jaya, our favorite person and dancer. She said that I told her that several years ago, and so she always offers thanks to Mother Bhumi when she gets up. See that?
Just see.
And are you? If you're there, tell us how has it affected your life, Jamuna Jaya? Pipe in if you can.
One time I can't.
Okay.
Wait. Am I on?
Yes. You're on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it really gives me a second. I always say, thank you, Mother Bhumi, and may I walk gently on your earth. And then I put my right foot and my left foot down, and then I look at the picture of sweet baby Krishna to get the day started. And it's a really wonderful way to start the day.
And look how happy she is.
She's always happy, this woman. I canto figure her out.
She's always happy and dancing.
Think her thoughts. Thanks for everybody driving us. Thanks for everybody driving our chariots today. Thanks for everybody joining us on our podcast. We do this every morning practically. Every morning practically. That's not even a real statement. We practically do this every morning. Yeah, that's a statement. So thanks you. It's enlightening. It's fun. It's only an hour. Great way to start your breakfast. It's filled with all. What did I just say? Great way to start your breakfast. No one even looked. Everyone was like, yeah, it is a great way to start your breakfast. It's a superfood for the heart. And thanks for everybody who's joining us on Zoom. We got a bunch of people join late. Been a big fun group today. Steve Amari, welcome. Nicole McCarthy, Dana Kay, Gopal Chandra, Garangi, and Baby B. And people I miss. Okay. Everybody. Thanks everybody who joined us live. Thanks for Sachi up there. Yay! Jai Shri Krishna Bolo Jai Radhe.
Check out Sean Murphy, vegan truck driver over there.
Oh, if you want to reach us, it's wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com, or check out our Patreon site, which is www.patreon.com/wisdomofthesages. Shri Radhe.